Well, we'll try and see what happens then in the if there's nothing serious with it. Well, you can't say to a fellow that's 40 years old, go to bed. You see?
Yeah,
you're quite right there.
It is,
Any other questions? Yes, please.
I noticed in your video you had the sleep apnea, the patients, and they're always sleeping on their back. Yet, to me, if your tongue is restricting the breathing, why don't they sleep on the side or on anything on their stomach, or is that not recommended?
No, it's actually not a bad treatment, but it only works for a very select group of people. So there's actually very few people who get it just on their back. The majority get, a bit worse on your back than on your side. And sleeping on your front's even better again for sleep apnea, just from gravity point of view. But it's very, very hard to try to, just say, for example, if I identify someone that only happens on their back, and I want them not to sleep on their back, you try and do it. It's actually hard to avoid sleeping on your back. Because one of the treatments is, you get them to get old pajamas, sew a ball in the back of the pajamas every time they go on their back. But after a few months, they get tolerant to that. So will lie half on their back anyway, because of the ball in the back. So even though as a principle it seems to make a lot of sense, it's actually hard to achieve in a practical sense.
Good. Is there any more? Yes, lady.
When I was younger, I could meditate really well, just naturally. Whereas now I find I have to concentrate on my breathing. Does that have something to do with scar?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways it could. Theoretically, if one of the areas in scar that could be affected is the sort of autopilot for breathing, the automatic control of breathing, so that by meditation you try to get yourself into that half awake, half asleep type of state is often what you get to in meditation, where you're just on that, the seesaw's about right in the middle, and that is a time when you're just handing off conscious control of breathing to the automatic control of breathing. And if that's a little bit not robust, you can just get pauses in breathing that people can be aware of and don't like that sensation or know that they've had a pause. I actually see that in completely normal people. It's very common to see just for about a 2-minute period as they drift off to sleep that breathing's a bit unsteady. There's bigger breaths, smaller breaths, a bit of stopping and starting as you're handing off from conscious control to automatic control through sleep.
And would you, with that diagram there, how would sleeping pills affect it? What does it relax?
Right, so sleeping pills basically this main sleep promoting bit here acts via a chemical called GABA. And most of the common sleeping pills like temazepam, Xanax, Seropax, Mogadon, Valium, they enhance this chemical called GABA. They're all GABA enhancing drugs. So the main problem with them is that you can get people to sleep initially, but if you try and give them for long enough to last through the night, then the thing is people wake up feeling groggy because there's still drug in the system. This is still too strong, this system. So there is some research going on newer drugs to try to manipulate sleep in different ways that might work a bit better.
Is there anything natural that you can have rather than sleeping pills?
Right, so the natural thing, this is I've got my own opinion about this. I'm actually a proponent of natural things, don't get me wrong, because Western medicine doesn't do great at a lot of sleep things. But valerian, St John's wort, those type of things, which are the natural things you buy from the chemist, they work by promoting histamine, promoting GABA, promoting dopamine, and promoting serotonin. So that, yes, it's supposedly a natural preparation, but the way it actually works is by manipulating these chemicals. It doesn't work. It's a bit like this concept of a natural product. It's a bit like you go to sleep and the fairies come out. How does the natural product actually work? Well, if it's going to have an effect, it's having an effect because it's changing brain neurochemistry. Now, what is it you're frightened about with a prescription pill? If you're frightened of changing brain neurochemistry, That's what you're doing with a natural kill anyway.
More frightened that it can become addictive.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that's one of the problems with the currently available drugs that act just via GABA, is the more you take them again and again and again, there is a risk of just the effect wears off over time and it's hard to stop them. Now that same thing can happen with valerian, St John's wort, the effect wears off over time, which is another reason why people are driving research to try and look at other types of drugs that don't cause problems when you stop them.
I'm looking for no questions anymore. Doctor, we thank you very much for your very enlightening talk, and who knows, we may have you in the future again in some years, and don't fall asleep in the meantime.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.